Hello, hello. Welcome to my desk. Well, yeah, I just saw Lindsay the Frugal Crafter. She had a video about resizing your watercolor paper with some sort of a Holbein new product. And then she flung out her Arteza sketchbook. And she talked about how it has lost its sizing since she bought it. And I was thinking, ugh, because I think I have had this in my closet at least 6, or is it 7 years? I don't know. At least 6 years, I think. It's back when they had them in 3-packs. Remember? It's been it's been a while, you know. So I was thinking that I should test out if I lost the sizing on this journal here. I think I did. I mean, if she lost the sizing on her journals, and I would assume that I got enabled to buy this set because something I saw on her channel, so it's probably within the same span of time. But yeah, I was thinking about just making a sketch and then start just painting in it, because only when I paint I can tell if there's something off with the paper. I want to use this paint box here from Jane Davenport. It's called Euphoria. I'm totally butchering that name. I keep thinking about hue-phobia, so that's why I wrote it up here. It's my hue-phobia. Like you are having a phobia against colors. Euphoria, I think. I think it's a pun on the word euphoria or something. I bought it because I was thinking that's a nifty little box, you know, like, could you imagine if you're the kind of person who traveled a lot or ate on the couch or walked out into the garden, you could just throw this in a bag and then with a sketchbook, and you would have like heaps of colors to pick from. I think that would be like a very likable situation until I started treating it that way, and then I discovered that all these, when you start using them, they're just like loose, you know, they fall out. So I don't know, oops, if you can imagine that you are closing this set here, like everything is just falling out, which is fun because then you can see how much product are there actually in this little set here, and it's not a lot. But what I wanted to say is that they also curl up, which is a little bit annoying. So they rattle when you pick up paint. That's not likable. But what's really not likable is if you close the lid and slant it like this, you can hear all the paint falling down like. So it's one of those palettes that I need to store this side up, otherwise it's a mess. But okay, disclaimer, every time I have an experience, there's always that one person that's like, mine doesn't do that, you know. So I don't know if it's something to do with my climate. I can only speak of, you know, my experience with this palette, and it's like everything is not attached. So I'm gonna use this, and then I'm gonna spray them down with water first, because they are a little bit, some of them re-wet nicely without being spread, but the majority of them really soak water. It's a very dry paint. But I kind of like working with this in a sketchbook where there is an issue with a sizing problem, because I don't know if it's the optical brightener. I think there has to be a lot of that in this white, you know, because you can really tell which color is what. If they were like super transparent, most of these pans would be like super dark, you know. But there is something in this paint that makes it fun to use on less sized paper. And I think maybe it's the optical brightener or the white, I don't know. It just stays longer on top of the paper, so it would work nice with a sketchbook that has lost its sizing, compared to if I take another brand of watercolor that's more like ink base, then the ink will be absorbed super fast, and you will not be able to manipulate and move the pigments. It will just be soaked into the paper. So I'm gonna give myself the best product for this case here, and I picked this out of all my watercolors. I think they're gonna do an excellent job on questionable paper. So yeah, let me just start sketching a sketch and get started. This is actually a little bit funny. You know, the drill here is not that I have something specific that I want to paint. It's just to test out the paper. So in theory, I can paint anything, like plug in a square of color if that. I just need to test the paper right. So I suddenly, before I started sketching, was thinking, well, what am I gonna paint? I wish I knew what I was gonna paint. And then ding dong, it rings on the door, and it's like the Jehovah's Witnesses handing me in this pamphlet here. And it just made me laugh because it was like, be careful what you ask for. That is like the quickest response that I have ever had. Like, paint me, you know. Looks like, you know, when they were talking and I was receiving this pamphlet, the first thought that hit my mind was like, oh, he's paintable, you know, like it's doable to make a portrait like this. So I wanted to do a portrait, but I also think that it's a very small scale. So I opt for a monochromatic statue instead, because then I have this whole background here to do a fairly big wash to test out, making a large wash with one color and see how the paper behaves. But yeah, this was so funny. I love the illustrations because it's like watercolory illustration, you know, like it's doable. I might actually try and give this a try, you know, the head and the hands, especially the hands. I could use some practice working with the hands. But yeah, wasn't that funny? The same second, ding dong, it rang on the door. But yeah, I fetched some water, I sprayed down my palette, and now I think I just want to work with these nice gray tones. I really like that you get a selection of cool gray pre-mixed. That's really nice, especially if you are like outdoor sketching or you want to sketch something in a hurry. Then it's so great to have pre-mixed grays. It saves you a lot of time, because otherwise you need to like stand there and mix it yourself. Oh no, I have something pinkish on my brush. Okay, I'm just gonna paint that out where there could be a little bit of pink. I did not account for this. I can just see that there is some discoloration in my bristles. Okay. I want to take it easy with the shading, so just gonna go lightly, because then I would put myself in a situation where I need to put a lot of layers in, and that's a good way for me to test out the sizing of the paper. You know, instead of, usually this paint that I'm working with here is one of those that works the best if you just put in one layer. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I don't think it's meant to be used as multiple glazing paint. But it's okay, it's okay. I can work with this. I am amazed about how pigmented it is. It's very nice. So, it is a statue. I don't want to put in, I think I can get away with like really hard lines, because the nature of it, you know, it being a statue. Maybe not that hard. So far, I don't feel I have a sizing issue. Can you see how I can revisit my paint? You know, I can come back Yeah, why is it so difficult to speak and paint at the same time? What I'm trying to say is that it doesn't soak, the paper doesn't soak it in immediately. Like, imagine if I have used like an ink pen or something inky. So that's sometimes one of the sizing issues. You see it when you start revisiting previous layers, and to check if you can blur out an edge. I don't feel that I have issues here. Okay, here I think I will use the shading underneath here to carve out the eye. Oh, this over here should have like less paint. I want this to be in the bright. So I should be a little bit careful, I think. But here I could actually use I want the light. Yeah, sorry for being so quiet. It's I'm just painting, you know. I have to think a little bit because I want the white of the paper to be my highlight. So I cannot just go willy-nilly in the first coat here. I need to determine where I'm gonna leave the paper untouched so that it can be a true highlight. But I am going to make a background in one color, block that in one color, so I can give myself the opportunity to try a complete wash. Sounds good. Yeah, you know what, I am painting like I would with normal paper. Doesn't seem like this page here at least got any sizing issues, which makes me glad. I have to confess that, oh my god, it must be so annoying having a sketchbook that you have in your stash for a long time for unknown reasons, not been used yet, and then when you finally want to go and grab and use it, the paper has gone bad. Could you imagine? That would be like a bad day in craft land. I kind of like having that can you see, like, this is the end of her chin. Having it really dark. Okay, since it's a statue, I can actually have the hair to be the exact same color. This ear here should be really dark. Okay, the hair could actually be now I got a hard edge there of the forehead, so now comes the test about the sizing of the paper. If I am able to touch that line and make it sort of work with me a little bit. I feel it's a little bit fixed to the paper, but I don't know if that is how it would be anyway. because I did leave it for a long time untouched, so it was probably dried up. Don't think that I necessarily need such a bright highlight right there. Maybe I should work in these two shaded areas here into one. I think all of this could be dark, like this dark here. She is wearing a headband. I should be very cautious with the dark over here, I think, but it could have like a shade like this. But yeah, it's a super cute size to work in. I think it's doesn't it look like a 4x4 square? Does it say? Oh, it's a 5.5 times 5.5. Is it really that big? Okay. It just feels so small. It's a nice size journal, I feel. It's just like it's a small thing. I feel that all of this could be in dark. I'm just gonna try and put it in. Yeah, this is like the first glaze. Now I want to let this dry and then come in with my second glaze. I would have like a shade going down here. Ooh, the mouth. I'm just gonna hint the lips a little bit. And we actually need like a darker shade. Yeah, I'm gonna let I almost lost my voice. I'm gonna let this dry and then come back with a second glaze. And the reason why I'm gonna letting it dry is because I don't want any blooms to peek up. But so far I think sizing is not an issue, so I might be lucky here. Okay, so the first layer has dried up. Let's come in with the shaded gray over here, a little bit darker value than the first one. Okay, where to put it? Maybe especially up here could be a good candidate. I kind of like that straight line. A lot of statues got these very straight lines. So let me see if I can get that too. and completely darken up this area here. Is it too dark, I'm thinking? Especially this eye here could be darker. I got a nice water ratio on my brush right now, so I'm just gonna use that for the full. You know, when you feel that you're in good control with your brush when it comes to the liquid, the ratio between the liquid and the pigment. So I'm just going to keep on going with this brush here until it runs out of paint. There are like some areas that I know that I want dark. Sorry for, for being so quiet. I'm like, I haven't been using my brain much today, so now I'm really asking for a lot. I feel that every single brain cell is concentrated on getting this the way that I want it. I don't feel that I necessarily have to blend out this dark color here too much. Of course it needs some sort of blending, but not a ferocious amount. This eye here though could be more in the dark. I also need to carve out this eyebrow here. Then I need the shadow from the nose. Can you tell how my brush is running out of pigment now? So it's depositing less, which is like a natural diluted value. I feel now I'm basically almost just dry brushing, but I do need, I feel, a very dark deposit right here. actually all this up here, the hair, could be a lot darker. Yeah, I hope it was fun to watch. Yeah, I should give that biblical Jesus picture a try, right? Because it's got like more colors in it. So maybe that will be my second painting in this journal here. I'm talking about the pamphlet picture. Oh my god, that is just so funny. You have to embrace these fun things in life that makes you laugh. Maybe the base of this statue could be all colored in somewhat. So I don't need to worry so much about highlights down there. Something like this. Okay, this might be leaning, you know, casting a shadow down here on this base here, so I'm just gonna blot it in a little bit. I also feel that this area here is a little bit too bright for being in the shade, so yeah, I think that helped. And then I need some sort of soft blend out here on the chin. I think maybe right here there could be, that was too dark. Can you see that? Maybe if I blend it out a little bit. Up here in the eye we could have a little shading going on here, and then basically I feel that I don't want to touch much of this side of the head, because I really would love to see it pop with, for instance, a black background. I think my wash should be with a black color. That would be nice, right? Okay. Fiddling. I think I am sort of getting ready to put down the brush, and then think about the background wash. Okay, we're gonna let this dry and then come in with maybe a pencil to do something about the eyes so that they don't look so spooky. Maybe I can already do it now without disturbing the paint. I always think that eyes and statues are a little bit strange to draw and paint because they basically are hollow. So I don't know about you, but I kind of read that as a little bit scary. Yeah, I think I will call that good enough and then come in once it has dried a little bit with the background color. Oh, I got something on the nose here that's not likable. Okay, maybe I should just leave it. Okay, I'm ready for that dark background. I want to give myself a lot of liquid black paint here. And then I think I just want to start. Maybe I should for once start at the difficult area first. I always do the easy part first. But the difficult area would be somewhere around here where I need to paint around some stuff. And then on the opposite side I got this big area where I can just let the brush run. But on the big area, though it may seem like that's the easiest part to block in with color, it can actually sometimes be the most difficult part because you need to work with a wet bead. So if this paper really got sizing issues, it will make it difficult for me to work that wet bead. You know, the wet bead is just that you keep on having the edge of your water line wet, so you kind of drag your next pigment load starting from that wet area so that you avoid getting streaks. Sometimes I think it's can be a little bit difficult to use black pigment as blocking in a background because you never really know how it dries up. It looks so dark and saturated when it's wet, but then suddenly when it starts to dry up, you can see the patchy areas that you kind of missed. Not missed, but you know, where you apparently laid down too little pigment because your mix was too saturated with water. Yeah, damn, I'm rambling here, I'm sorry. Just okay, should we have backlight on the hair? Yeah, we should. Backlight is keeping a white line between your hair when you start coloring it in, so you kind of define. Oh no, this was like the worst time. I'm not gonna stop because, like I said, I'm working with a wet bead. Oh no. Okay, I have to stop. Oh no. Yeah, I have to do this without any pauses. I think I'm gonna keep very small white line on the neck. Okay, that was the worst part. Now we can sort of rock and roll. Now it's the wet beadwork. And what I do is that I will try not to get too wet of a application, because the wet water will carry the pigment, stretch it out, so it might not have same coverage as the areas where you were very saturated with a milky wash. But sure, if you wanted this like completely blocked in saturated black, I think you could use like acrylic or even gouache, you know, to get that same velvet look. But I'm not taking any chances. I keep loading my brush so that I get a lot of pigments down. It may be overkill, I know. I just don't want to go in twice with a background wash, because first of all, it's just annoying. You can have like uneven blooms, and it's better just to coat this once and then cross your fingers that it works. Okay, ta-ta! Okay, I'm gonna let this dry and then peel off the tape. So it has dried up. It's looking nice. And I should talk about the painting experience, and I don't feel that I have lost any of the sizing. For me, it was just, you know, I didn't feel any issues. So, but this is also just the first page. I think I should work a little bit more in this sketchbook. Actually, I feel that I should work a lot more in this sketchbook, because I can just recall that sad feeling I got when Lindsay was showing this sketchbook, and I was thinking, oh no, did I really pass the opportunity of having a sketchbook that got sizing because I just left it too long in my closet? So I think I'm gonna use this sketchbook a little bit more. But thank you for watching along, and this is the finished painting. And as you can see, I got very nice coverage of the washes. I don't have any issues. So yeah, bye bye.